What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Free Game, and this is another free take. I kind of want to do something fun. Now, preseason NBA has just started, so that means basketball season is right around the corner, and I know I did a dark horse, like top 5, but tonight I'm going to do a NBA tier list. Now, how this is going to go, I have 6 groups. I'm going to rank all 30 NBA teams, 5 teams each group. We're going to start off from the very bottom all the way to the top. Now, before I get started with the tier list, I want you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, make sure you leave a comment down below, and let's get into it, man. Hopefully you guys don't get too mad at me about this, but it's just off the top of my head, no biggie, but here we go. So, this first group is, this is called lottery winners. Now, these 5 teams are shooting for the lottery. There's no real expectation for them this year. I think these are going to be the 5 worst teams in the NBA. There's just no hope. And that's going to go with the Detroit Pistons, Brooklyn Nets, Portland Trail Blazers, Washington Wizards, and the Charlotte Hornets. Now, obviously, the most unsurprising one is probably Detroit. They're the bottom of the bottom. You got Cade Cunningham. That's about it. It's ugly down there. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Brooklyn Nets, losing Mikal Bridges. Don't really know about Ben Simmons. Like, it's just so weird with Ben because he could be so good for a multitude of teams, especially if you put him on a team with shooters around him. You don't need him to score. You don't need him to shoot threes. You can just dink and dunk him in the dunker spot, and he can play defense on the best player. And he can facilitate. Like, if you had Ben Simmons on the Warriors, it would work. If you had Ben Simmons on, who else has shooters? Oh, now, like maybe the Mavericks, it would work. He doesn't really need the ball. I mean, he can play defense. He can facilitate. I mean, you put him anywhere else but Brooklyn. I mean, they don't have nobody. I mean, Cam Thomas, maybe. Like, I don't know. So they'll be shooting for the lottery pick. The Trailblazers, still working on the young ones. It's a young team. After losing Dame, it's just still just building from within. It takes time. Like, most of these young teams that drafted, they weren't good the first 2 years, and now you see them on the come up. So it just takes time. Same thing with the Wizards. Getting Jordan Poole was maybe a mistake because, I mean, he's not panning out what you thought he would. But like I said, you build through the draft, go a couple years sucking, and then you come back, and then you make a deep playoff run like some of these young teams last year. Charlotte Hornets is very interesting to me because of LaMelo Ball. Kind of got banged up, with injuries. I just don't like his supporting cast, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like his supporting cast. They gotta do something quick, to get some pieces around him, but we'll see what happens. I think it's just going to be a one-man show. LaMelo Ball is just going to sell tickets, have fun, make money, play ball. That's it. So that's the first group. Second group, play-in hunters. These are the teams that are going to be shooting for the play-in, just kind of that below mid-tier level of teams, and that's going to be the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, the LA Clippers. Interesting. Toronto Raptors, and Chicago Bulls. Let's start off with the Rockets. Jalen Green is, he's stepping up. I love the kid's game. I mean, he's so talented. And he's just getting comfortable. And obviously adding, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet. They're a solid team. They're not your top end, of the West, per se, but I can see them sneaking into a play-in spot. Having a mid, above 500 season. They could do it. The Spurs is interesting as well because they just added Chris Paul. So I understand. Now, as a Warriors fan, hear me out. I did not want Chris Paul on the Warriors at all. I thought it was the worst idea possible because it's just worthless. You have Steph. Why do you need Chris? But one thing Chris is very good at is mentoring young guys. Look at what he did with OKC when he was there for like a year or two. Him with Victor Wembanyama and all those other young guards out there. That's gonna be a good vet for them. And I don't see him playing 30 plus minutes, but he can be a coach on the court and help the young guys step up. And she's had a track record of doing so. I can see the Spurs getting to playing, and that'd be good for the NBA. The Clippers, golly, the Clippers will clip. It's just going to be a Kawhi Harden show, and it's going to be some ugly basketball, man. I mean, I'm very, very interested to see how far Kawhi can take this team. Just depleted on a Paul George experiment, a Russell Westbrook experiment, and they're both gone. I don't know. It's the Clippers, though, so, you have to put them in the play-in if they got Kawhi Leonard, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. The Toronto Raptors is an interesting one. Again, a young team. Bringing in R.J. Barrett to be alongside Scotty Barnes, that's a good little pickup. I seen him play a little bit last year. It's his home country. So, yeah, just the East for the play-in, it's possible. It's possible. Chicago Bulls. Now, this is all going to depend on Lonzo Ball's health. Losing Alex Caruso, losing DeMar DeRozan are two of the major three pieces, and the third one's been hurt. I think this is going to be his third season. He sat out 2 seasons. So hopefully he's healthy because I love Lonzo's game. I mean, him alongside Kobe White, they got a couple of younger guys that are very athletic. I can see him making the play as well if healthy. This next group is called Shockingly Good. Now, these 5 teams are going to surprise a lot of people. I feel like, maybe one of these 2 teams or 3 teams, make a solidified playoff spot, or, they just become surprisingly good. So here we go. The Los Angeles Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Orlando Magic, and the Atlanta Hawks. Let's start off with the Lakers. I think a lot of people are writing off the Lakers because of, they're judging it off of Bronny. Let's just be real. Like, they're trying to figure out how they're going to incorporate Bronny into the lineup and whatever. I mean, if you look at the team last year, they weren't bad at all. And if Anthony Davis is healthy, they're going to be really good. I mean, it's LeBron. And they added that kid from Tennessee, drafted him. They still kept Austin Rivers. They're thinking about, I've been hearing some rumors, they're thinking about trading Rui. So maybe they even add another piece during, middle of the season. So you never know with the Lakers. They're always trying to make moves. But I think they're going to be surprisingly good. Another team, my team, that is going to be shockingly good is the Golden State Warriors. I really like what I see from Buddy Hield in this preseason. Like, the offense fits him so perfectly. Adding him alongside Steph, you got Brandon Pajinski, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, and we added Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson, and Kevin Knox, which he'll barely see the floor. But I like our team. It just all depends on, is Kuminga going to step up or not? That's it. I don't see Andrew Wiggins stepping up. Gary Payton II is gonna be the spark plug. On the bench. I can expect great defense from him every time. Moses Moody hasn't come along yet, but it's mainly on Kuminga because it's a passing of the torch moment between Draymond and Jonathan Kuminga, and this is a contract year. The Warriors didn't extend him. This is his prove-it year. So we'll see how that goes. Usually prove-it years end up really good for players, and I think it would benefit the Warriors if he plays good. So we'll see what happens with that. The New Orleans Pelicans. DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson. I like it. He's a bucket. He's a bucket. This one's also depending on health. Is Zion going to stay healthy? I think so. Are the younger guys going to step up? I think so. They're playing in the West, but CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, add whoever you want on the fifth. That's a solid team. So I think they're going to shock some people, a lot of people. The Orlando Magic is very interesting because I like that team, built within the draft. Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, just another young, hungry team that really doesn't have anything to lose. It's going to be between them and, the Pacers on who's going to be the best young team in the East. And, I think the Magic have a good run. So we'll see what happens. And the Atlanta Hawks is the last one. This is another prove-it year for Trae Young. I like their draft pick. I didn't at first, but he's very good. He's super skilled, very good with the ball handling and shooting, facilitating. What is he, 6'7", 6'8"? He's huge, and it looks like a nice pickup. But this is make or break for Trae Young and the Hawks right here this season. And if they don't make it to the first round of the playoffs, I think he's out of here. So, but I do think they're going to be good. Their draft pick's really good. I didn't think he was that good, but seeing him live in preseason, he's got some potential. Okay, this next tier is called playoff contenders. Now, these are the teams that are going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be, a lot of number 1, number 2 seeds or the higher seeds run for their money. They're going to be playoff contenders. It's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers, Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers, and the Utah Jazz. The Cavs are interesting. Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell. Can they get it done? They have the talent. They have the potential. Donovan is a bucket. Darius Garland is a very good point guard, and Jared Allen is a very good rim protector. But I also think this is another prove-it year for Jared Allen. His name's been on the rumor mill a lot. And, you lose a piece like that, it's going to be tough. And a piece like him will make a lot of these teams, 15 to 20 of these NBA teams, a lot better. So I think, I still think they're playoff contenders in the East. They'll give a lot of guys a run for their money, and we'll see what happens. The Milwaukee Bucks. They're playoff contenders. I'm not naive. I just don't like this team. I don't think it fits the Dame Lillard Giannis experiment with the coaching, the system that is ran for this team. I don't think it benefits Giannis. I don't think it benefits Dame. They need to go back to what won them a championship. 4 out, 1 in, 5 out with Giannis. Let him go downhill, and if they build a wall, kick out to your shooters. Simple. Losing Drew Holiday showed. It showed. I mean, the defense was not as good. You have two DPOY caliber players, Brook Lopez and Giannis. Losing that anchor showed. Dame Lillard is not a on-ball defender. He's not a good defender at all. So, I don't know, but they have Giannis, they have Dame. They're going to be playoff contenders. I'm not naive, but I'm not confident in the Bucks, is all I'm saying. The Miami Heat, again, another team that is based on health. And this is the final year for Jimmy Butler, I feel like. And then trade rumors, once again. This is another year where he said that he told that he's going to ride it out this season. But I think they're playoff contenders. I mean, Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the league. You got Tyler Hero, you got Bam, you got Jimmy, you got Jaime Jaquez, great young player. Solid team. Solid playoff contender. No doubt about it. The Indiana Pacers. Listen, Tyrese Halliburton might be one of my favorite point guards in the league, man. Like, he's so good. He's so good. Another good young team, man. Like, the come up is crazy with these young teams and these organizations that build within the draft. It's just smart, Tyrese Halliburton's the anchor, and you just build around him. You got Miles Turner. You got Pascal Siakam. Solid team. TJ McConnell. Solid team. And they made a deep playoff run last year. So I see them doing it again this year for sure. The Utah Jazz, keeping Larry Markkinen kept them as a playoff contender. If they lost Larry Markkinen, they would have moved 2 tiers down to play-in hunters. That's how good Larry Markkinen is. Very underrated big. Very underrated. Like, I want him to go to the Warriors so bad. But him choosing to stay, just keeps the Utah Jazz in that middle tier playoff contender with Jordan Clarkson and, just a solid team. Solid team. Now, this is the next tier. It is called Deep Run. These teams will make a deep run in the playoffs. One of these teams will probably be your Western Conference Finals winner, maybe. And now that I look at it, it is all Western Conference teams. All right, let's just get into it. The Thunder, OKC Thunder, Dallas Mavericks, Sacramento Kings, Memphis Grizzlies, Phoenix Suns. OKC, one of the best ran organizations in the league. Sam Presti knows how to draft. He knows how to make a deal. Bringing in Alex Caruso, you got SGA, you got the Williams boys, like Chet. Solid team. All around. They'll probably be your number 1, number 2 seed again in the West. I don't see them going anywhere for a long time, man. They're good and they're young. The Dallas Mavericks, adding Klay Thompson, adding another shooter. Luka, Kyrie Irving, box office. What can I say? I just think they have to get more production from their supporting cast. Like, you can't win an NBA Finals with just Kyrie and Luka. You can get there, but they've shown you that you can't win an NBA Finals without, with just Kyrie and Luka. Yeah, Klay, if he's healthy, you just makes you even better. So, yeah, deep run. Sacramento Kings. I hate to say it because the Warriors and the Kings have become like a pseudo rivalry, but I think this team is slept on too. This team is very good, coached by Mike Brown. I mean, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Sabonis, very underrated big as well. Like, adding DeMar DeRozan with that mid-range that nobody wants to shoot. they're going to be scary this year. Look out for the Kings. The Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Zach Edey, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Steven Adams is coming back. Everybody forgets how good Memphis was because of Ja Morant. And I think everybody forgets how good Ja Morant is because, the gun issues, and he got hurt last year, which sucked. But when Ja's healthy, he is a animal. He's a freak. You cannot deny that. I don't care what you think about him off court. He is a bucket. And when he's healthy, they're going to go on a deep run. So, they're due. I just believe some teams are due. They're one of them. And the Phoenix Suns. I think the Olympics really helped out Devin Booker and KD. I think they needed it. I think they really did. Because last year, a lot of false hope. Everybody thought that team was going to be winning the finals, and it's just a disappointment. And, Bradley Beal's off and on. Listen, I think this is your final opportunity to keep KD. Like I said, I think Booker's going to be a Sun for life. I don't see him going anywhere. But KD is known for moving. And if he sees something that he likes, he moves. This is your final opportunity. That's got to be a deciding factor if keeping Bradley Beal is a good idea or not. I mean, if I were the Suns, I would have traded him in a heartbeat and get a solid piece because the best ability is availability. And he's just not cutting it out. But yeah, I still think they'll go on a deep run. I mean, you got KD. They're going to go on a deep run. He's still good. Very good. Now, the top of the mountain, the S tier NBA teams right here is called Kings of the Hill. And these teams are going to be your title favorites. Hands down, no question about it. Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, Minnesota Timberwolves, and the New York Knicks. Let's talk about it. Denver, they're not going anywhere. I mean, they're going to be like the Spurs with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. They're just going to be those teams that they're just going to stay there. They're going to be your favorites. They're going to be good every single regular season. And you just never know with them. So, that's no surprise. The Boston Celtics, I think they're going to be very good this year, but I don't think they're going to repeat. I don't think they're going back to the finals. That's just my opinion. It's tough. It's tough to go back to back. Very, very tough. You got to have a dynasty-style team to go back to back, and I don't see the Celtics as that dynasty team yet. They're a very good basketball team. Do not get me wrong. Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, they are a very good basketball team, and they're deep. But there's just nothing about them that just speaks dominance. You know what I mean? The Warriors was a dynasty. The Heatles was a dynasty. The Spurs were a dynasty. The Lakers were a dynasty with Kobe and Shaq because there was just dominance. You just felt it. Every single year you run into those teams and you're just okay, yeah, they're gonna do it every year. I don't see it with the Celtics. They don't have that it for me, So, but they're, like I said, would it surprise me if they go back to back? No, it wouldn't. But I just can't see it, They'll be very good this year though, for sure. The Philadelphia 76ers. This reminds me of the Bucks. Listen, I'm not naive again. They're a good basketball team, right? They're loaded. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George. I get it. I don't know if I trust Paul George enough yet. He couldn't get it done with Kawhi. What makes you think he's going to get it done with Joel? Joel's injury prone just like Kawhi is. Tyrese Maxey's stepping into his own. That's just going to get all of his shots away because PG's going to need the ball. So very interesting to see how they scheme up PG and Tyrese Maxey, because Embiid's going to get his touches. There's no doubt about that. But I also think the East is just loaded this year. You got to go through the Celtics. You got to go through the Knicks, the Bucks. Like, it's tough. So whoever comes out of the East, I think, is going to be your champion. But will Philly be that team? They have a shot. I don't think so, but I'm not naive. I put them there because they are a good basketball team. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Man, I never thought I would put them this high up at the top of the top because just look at their career with Anthony Edwards. They draft Anthony Edwards. They have the Rudy Gobert trade that a lot of people, I think almost everybody, said that Utah or Minnesota gave up so much for Rudy Gobert. Like, so much. But then you have the play-in championship where they celebrated a play-in win, and with Pat Beverly and a bunch of other pieces. But hey, you look at them now, adding Julius Randle, adding Dante DiVincenzo, losing Cat, but that trade was pretty even to me. And I think Julius fits better with Rudy than Cat does, because he's not as big, more aggressive, likes to drive to the hole, will shoot a lot, but he likes to drive to the hole. He's a tough shot maker. When healthy, he's a tough shot maker, all-star. He's a dog, Him and Ant are going to fit perfect together. And adding Dante DiVincenzo, I mean, my God, one of the best shooters in the league. Like, love to see it. Hate to see it for the Knicks, but love to see it for the Timberwolves. Another deep run. It'll be between, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and maybe OKC. Those will be your top three in the West. Last but not least, the New York Knicks, man. Losing Julius and Dante does suck, but adding Cat, like I said, was an even trade. He spaces the floor very well. One of the best big shooting bigs from three in the league. Very skilled offensively. Just another body. I'm not for sure on Mitchell Robinson, but I mean, hey, the Nova Knicks are no more, but you still got Mikal Bridges. You still got OG. You still got Jalen. I don't know about Mitchell Robinson. I don't, he's on the rumor mill as well, but Josh Hart. I'm real interested to see how Tibbs coaches Cat, because I don't think Cat is cut from that cloth like Julius was. He just seems more finessey. But we'll see what happens. I think the Knicks are going to be your title favorites. Not title favorites, but I can see them winning the NBA championship still. I really thought they were before the trade. I still think they are after. But that is my NBA tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did, because this was all off the top of my head. But this was fun. And it was good to kick off the NBA season, the preseason. Let's see if I'm right. I haven't been kind of ass predicting, but maybe basketball will be different. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Did I get some teams mixed up? What would your tier list be? Would you put this team in a higher tier or lower tier? Let me know. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you send this to your grandma. Do whatever you can, because it's a free game. And that is it. And I'm out.